everyone, it's Sarah from Homemade Healthy Happy. I just wanted to get this video of Spaetzle up to show you all how to make it. I'm going to do spelt Spaetzle today, so a mixture of whole spelt grains and unbleached white spelt flour. So we'll weigh in the spelt grains. I'm just going to do 100 grams. Our wholemeal spelt flour is done, so I'm just going to add a bit extra of this white spelt flour. Just 200 grams. Then a teaspoon of ground nutmeg, or a heaped teaspoon. I have a half teaspoon here, so I'm going to do 2. I like it quite nutmeggy, so that is pretty good. And then a teaspoon of fine sea salt. 100 grams of milk. I've just got rice milk here. You can use almond milk or cow's milk, goat's milk, whatever you can tolerate. And 4 eggs. So Spaetzle is just a sort of an egg noodle dumpling hybrid from Germany, and it's really, really yummy served with, well, some people eat it on its own, but I find that that's a bit too carby. But I like it with goulash and stroganoff, or just anything that's really saucy. It's a good, fun alternative to rice or pasta or any of those sort of grainy, carby sides. Pop the lid on and just give it a good mix. Scrape down the sides and put it on again. You want it to be kind of just a little bit thicker than pancake batter, so you may have to add, like that's too thick. You may have to add a little bit more of your milk or your milk alternative. So just scrape down the sides, make sure you get all the flour mixed in. Don't want to waste any. I'm going to add a little bit of milk now because I know it's too thick. I just kind of guess and eyeball this part. Looks like a pretty good consistency to me. So sticky, a bit thicker than pancake batter. You could probably, depending on the size of the holes in whatever you're using, you could probably go a little bit thinner or thicker than that. But this is about right. So I'll pour this into a bowl, get the goulash going, and we'll come back to it later. Alright, so we have our goulash cooking in the Thermomix now. Pot of boiling water on the stove, and we're going to get started with the Spaetzle. So this is my Spaetzle maker. It looks like a cheese grater, but it's not sharp, the holes aren't sharp, and it's curved. So basically I'm going to be sitting this over the pot of water, dropping a big lump of dough in there, and then using this little spatula to just scrape it, and the dough will drop into the water. You can make something similar, you can fashion something similar to this at home with a colander, as long as the holes are quite large, not too big, not too small, so the dough goes through at the right speed. And you just need to work quite quickly, because if you're doing it too slowly, the dough will start to cook from underneath and it won't drop through. So have everything set up. So I've got my pot, my dough, my skimmer, I've got a ladle and a spoon, tablespoon there, a plate, and then a colander over at the sink ready to catch the bits, because you need to do it in batches. Alright, so we will get started. So I just get sort of an even ladle of the dough and make sure it's not actually dripping while I take it over to the pot. Set that Spaetzle maker on there, and then really quickly, because we don't want it to cook, empty that in and start scraping straight away. So that dough is dropping into the water underneath the Spaetzle maker. So we just keep going until all the dough's out. Put a little scrape along the bottom and set it down. Then I take my skimmer and I just scrape the bits off the bottom so they don't get stuck there. And that'll come back to the boil. And then you should leave it boiling for about 30 seconds to a minute. And once that's done, I'll get my skimmer again, scoop it and put it into the colander. So we have to do it in batches, one ladle at a time, just because we don't want to be taking out the undercooked Spaetzle with the old stuff. So we get evenly cooked Spaetzle. Some people saute it after boiling it. I have stopped doing that now because I don't really think that it makes that much of a difference. And when you saute it, it can break apart. It doesn't very often. But also you have to saute it in quite a lot of butter. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with butter, but just everything in moderation, right? So I just boil it and then serve it with the main. And it's quite a saucy main with the goulash, so we give it just a little bit longer. You can kind of tell when they're done just by looking at them after you've been doing it for a while, because they plump up quite a bit. They just get fuller in the water and they have a certain look about them when they're ready, I guess. And they're almost there now, I think. So they're just happily boiling away. You don't really need to stand here as they boil, but you can. You can watch. Alright, so I think that's good. You can see that they're nice and plump. Almost fluffy looking. So just take, this is why it's good to have everything set up, because you can just do everything quickly and not drip water all over the kitchen, not overcook the Spaetzle while you're scrambling around trying to get everything ready. These are obviously mistakes that I've made in the past from not having it set up, and learnt from them. So all the bits out. Them straight in there, and then we are ready to go ahead. Again, working quite quickly. Just probably want to eat as quickly as we can because it smells so yummy, but you don't want the dough to start cooking in the Spaetzle maker. You can see it's all dropped in, just give it one little scraper. And again, just along the bottom just to make sure that they're all floating in the boiling water. Alright, so we're on the last ladle full of Spaetzle. The goulash is almost ready, and then we'll put it all together. So I got my Spaetzle maker in Germany. My sister lives over there and I had her buy it for me and bring it to Australia with her. I'm not sure where you can find them in Australia. I'm sure if you look hard enough you can. But like I said, you can just take a colander with really large holes and then a regular spatula and just goulash on your own. You can see we've made quite a lot of Spaetzle. I'd say this would be probably 5 people as a side in this family, maybe 6. We eat a lot in this family, so as a side to something like goulash, it would serve, I'd say, 5 or 6 people, depending on the size of their appetite. So we are almost ready to serve everything up for everyone. Just one very important thing, as soon as you're done with everything, fill it with water and put it in the sink. Even if you're not ready to tidy up right away, you want to fill it with water. Spaetzle dough will go like cement on your utensils if you don't soak them straight away. Alright, so here we have our Thermomix goulash and the Spaetzle, which we did the dough for in the Thermomix and then boiled it on the stove top. So we just want to put a scoop, maybe a little extra for those hungry people in your family. And then pop some goulash on top. There we go, and there is our goulash and Spaetzle. Hope you enjoy it and get some tips from it. See you soon. Bye!